Louisiana Attorney General's office now says it's reaching out to attorneys general in other states about its investigation into Springview Medical Clinic.
Our Fox 8 Defenders report first uncovered the claims against Springview from men who say the clinic billed them thousands of dollars for treatment they're not receiving. We've also discovered more than 75 complaints filed against clinics across the country with ties to Springview. Here's our latest Fox 8 Defenders investigation. In 16 different states across the U.S., men filed consumer complaints with their attorney general about medical clinics that touted a treatment for erectile dysfunction. The clinics all have ties to Springview Medical Clinic, the now shuttered business in Metairie that we first reported on last month.
Men, are you struggling with erectile dysfunction and sick of the pills? Well, there is now a major medical breakthrough that doesn't require any medication.
Through public records requests, we found over 75 complaints filed with attorneys general across the country for the more than 40 clinics we discovered with ties to Springview. Many of these clinics have the same people named as officers or managers on official state documents, and many have the same main address in Utah. A Springview representative sent us a list of the clinics in an email. As far as the complaints lodged against the clinics, we found in Illinois 16 complaints filed since the beginning of 2022 against Edgebrook Medical Clinic in Chicago. In Michigan, the Attorney General's office confirms 3 complaints filed against Maple Ridge Medical Clinic. After combing through dozens of records, we also confirmed complaints filed against clinics in Washington State, Virginia, Maryland, North Carolina, Pennsylvania, Ohio, Oklahoma, Indiana, Tennessee, and Florida. In Missouri, the AG's office confirms it's got an open investigation, but won't say how many complaints have been filed against the clinics in that state. In Rhode Island, the Attorney General's office says it's now looking into a clinic there after receiving multiple consumer complaints. And in Georgia, the Attorney General's office says it's reviewing the 10 complaints it's received to determine the office's next steps. We've read all of the complaints provided to Fox 8. They're similar to what men in the New Orleans area told us about their experiences with Springview Medical Clinic. The local complaints and others we've read from across the country both involve men paying thousands of dollars for treatment they say didn't work while still being billed by closed clinics.
Obviously, this is not just a New Orleans problem. It's the same type of complaint, it would appear, from the same type of victim again and again.
After Fox 8 discovered the clinics across the country with ties to Springview and presented those findings to the Louisiana Attorney General's office, investigators now confirm they're reaching out to their partners in other states about those potential ties. Fox 8 legal analyst Joe Responti says that's telling.
When you see multiple states and multiple attorneys general coming together like that, it shows you that the investigation is expanding, that these bad actors potentially are doing it in multiple states, and that there's a communication going on, and it brings to mind that the investigation is gaining momentum and has more gravitas going forward.
Investigators say they're trying to determine if the owners of the clinics engaged in unfair and deceptive trade practices. If so, Responti says the attorneys general can file lawsuits on behalf of their states with the goal of getting restitution for victims.
It's consumer protection, basically, in the largest sense. And that's what people like an attorney general, that's what they're there to do.
I hope they can help me as well as others, to get our money back, the records, filed this year, to make us whole again.
The Louisiana Attorney General's office encourages anyone who's had a negative experience with Springview Medical Clinic to reach out to the AG's office to file a consumer complaint. That's also the advice from other attorneys general across the country as they look into the complaints filed in their states as they consider the next steps in this investigation. If you've got a consumer complaint you'd like us to look into, call the Fox 8 Defenders, staffed with volunteers from the National Council of Jewish Women, or fill out our online complaint.